without me hearing his voice, I'm like, it's unconfirmed. But if you got friends that knew him and grew up with him saying it's confirmed, then I gotta say, hey, yeah, this is probably Brian Koberger.
New this afternoon, a plane carrying 10 people in western Alaska has gone missing. The Bering Air Caravan was heading from Unalakleet to Nome with 9 passengers and a pilot, according to Alaska's Department of Public Safety. Alaska officials say the incident happened yesterday afternoon and rescuers searched into the night for any sign of the aircraft. Today, authorities continue to search the area and determine its last known coordinates. The disappearance marks the 3rd major incident in U.S. aviation in just 8 days.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy T-REV, and I'm here to talk to you guys today about the 10 victims that are missing right now in Alaska. Now, let's jump into it. A plane carrying 10 people has vanished over Alaska, sparking a massive search operation with freezing temperatures, strong winds, and a dangerous terrain, and rescuers are racing against time. Can they find any survivors before it's too late, Rev Gang? I don't know what's going on out here, but with these plane crashes and everything that's going on in the world. But again, in this video, we are going to break down the latest updates and the expert analysts and everything we know so far about this developing story. Now, I want to give you guys some context. So on February 6th of 2025, a Bering Air Cessna 208B Grand Caravan disappeared while flying from Unalakleet to Nome, Alaska. The aircraft, carrying 9 passengers and a pilot, was last seen 12 miles offshore over Norton Sound before vanishing from radar. Now, severe snowstorms and fog are complicating the search, and as of this moment, the plane remains missing, and authorities, including the Coast Guard, National Guard, and local fire departments, are doing everything they can to locate the aircraft. Now, I want to give you a little breakdown on the timeline of the disappearance. Again, Thursday, February 6th of 2025, the last known moments. On that afternoon, the Cessna 208B Grand Caravan takes off from Unalakleet, a small town 150 miles southeast of Nome, at 3:16 p.m. local time. The last known transmission is recorded, and the plane's final radar location was offshore over Norton Sound. And then minutes later, air traffic control loses all contact with the aircraft. Search efforts began immediately. The U.S. Coast Guard and the National Guard deployed search teams right away, and Nome Fire Department leads ground searches in remote areas. Now, search teams are scanning a 30-mile stretch along the coastline, and we'll see what comes from that. Now, there is weather complications making the search very difficult, ladies and gentlemen. Heavy snow, fog, and freezing temperatures limit aerial searches. Now, water temperatures are below freezing and drastically reducing survival chances. Where are they looking at? That's what we want to know, right? Where are they looking at? Who's involved? The U.S. Coast Guard. They're using aircraft and sonar for ocean searches, and they're assisting with the land and air operations. You have the National Guard. Then you got the Nome Fire Department conducting those ground searches in the wilderness. Search areas, land search wise, right? A 30-mile coastal stretch near Nome. That's what is being examined right now. Now, there is air search. Limited visibility is making it almost impossible to conduct searches from the sky from the research that I've done. They're saying that the water search is led by the Coast Guard deploying boats and sonar equipment. The key challenges out here from reports that I'm reading, again, extreme weather conditions, snow, strong winds. They're slowing the search team. There's a bunch of remote locations. They're saying that the terrain is difficult to access within limited roads because they don't have anywhere to go there. There's limited daylight to play with, and Alaska's winter darkness makes search operations even harder. Now, technology being used, again, they're using radar tracking, analyzing last known flight data, and their thermal imaging used on rescue helicopters when weather allows. They have to have good weather in their favor. Now, emergency beacons, authorities are scanning for any distress signals, which they've been doing since it happened. Possible causes, what might have happened? That's what we want to know, right? The potential reasons for the disappearance. Is it the severe weather conditions? Is it the snow squalls and wind gusts could have caused disorientation? Is that what's going on here? Is icing on the aircraft? Could that have led to a mechanical failure? Was there engine failure or maybe fuel exhaustion? The Cessna 208B is a single engine aircraft. If the engine failed over water, an emergency landing would be nearly impossible. Let's talk about pilot disorientation. Okay. Low visibility plus heavy fog. They say that equals spatial disorientation, a dangerous condition where pilots lose track of their altitude and position. Now, there's a similar case in Alaska history, or a couple of them actually. Alaska has one of the highest rates of small plane crashes due to extreme weather and remote flight paths. And in 1972, a plane carrying a U.S. politicians disappeared over Alaska, and it was never found. Families and officials react. The statements from officials here. Senator Dan Sullivan said, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the passengers, their families, and rescue teams." Families are desperate for answers. Many of the passengers were traveling for work or for family visits, and relatives in Nome and Unalakleet are anxiously waiting for news to hear that their loved ones are okay. Now, the public reaction has been heavy, and many are calling for better tracking technology for planes in remote areas. What do you guys think would help more in these situations so this doesn't happen? Because there seems to be a lot of plane crashes going on lately. What's next? They're saying that search teams will expand their search if no wreckage is found, and the Coast Guard is preparing sonar scans in the deeper waters of Norton Sound. And if the plane crashed on land, survivors may still be alive, waiting to be rescued. And here's what the experts are saying about the survival chances, ladies and gentlemen. If the plane landed in the ocean, survival time is extremely limited due to hypothermia. If the plane landed on land, passengers could still be alive, but exposed to dangerous freezing temperatures. Let's pray for them, ladies and gentlemen. Also, the authorities are urging people not to start independent searches. Officials have warned against independent search efforts, saying the weather and the terrain are too dangerous. The conclusion and the call to action here is the Bering Air Cessna 208B Grand Caravan disappeared yesterday on February 6th of 2025 while flying from Unalakleet to Nome. 10 people were on board, and rescue teams are still searching despite difficult weather conditions. Authorities are expanding the search, but warn the window for survival is closing fast. Now, again, my final thoughts here. This is a developing story, and I'll continue to monitor updates as search teams work tirelessly to locate the missing aircraft. Let's keep these families in our thoughts, our prayers, hoping for the best possible outcome. And ladies and gentlemen, if you like this video and you found it to be educational or whatever, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell as we go live. We take phone calls. We cover different cases. Again, I just opened up a nonprofit called Voice for the Voiceless. I just want to give back to people, no matter what tragedy, loss of life. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. Love and light, and I'll see you on the next one.
Said that it's, you know, that's him 100%. I mean, without me hearing his voice, I'm like, you know, it's unconfirmed. But if you got friends that knew him and grew up with him saying it's confirmed, then I gotta say, hey, yeah, this is probably Brian Koberger. But, you know, I did send it into the FBI. I did clip that. I also went through 80,000 phone calls, found the number, sent it into the FBI as well. And they have that, and hopefully they get down to that information.
Good. Do you know that they are in receipt of it? Did they come back to you at all?
I know they have it. I've never got an email back yet.